What up? What up? What up? Welcome to Leading Life. Today we're going to talk about why you continue to fail, why I continue to fail, why Cam continues to fail. Today is all about failure.
Are you a failure?
Huh?
Welcome to Leading Life, the show all about living to the fullest and leading life on your terms.
You will learn tips, tools, and strategies for achieving total personal transformation.
I'm Bren.
And I'm Cam.
This is Leading Life.
What up, what up, what up, what up? And welcome to the Leading Life podcast. We're just pumped to be back, obviously. Tuesday, every day, Monday to Friday, we're on here live. What was that? Anyway, so we're going to talk all about failure. Yesterday we chatted about basically setting your intentions for 2017. What's that mean? That means going into this new year, and instead of just going with the flow, you're actually planning the year. You're actually creating things. You're actually getting prepared for it. And that's what we're talking about today, guys. Well, that's a little bit of what we're talking about today. Today, we're going to talk about failure, because a lot of what we talked about yesterday kind of led to the thoughts about failure.
Fear of failure was like why a lot of people don't even set up goals in the first place. Yeah,
exactly. And so we're going to talk about that. Yeah,
let's talk about that.
Let's do that.
Yeah. So, obviously, like if you're into personal development, you've already heard that failure is just a learning experience, right? I mean, I don't know why they don't teach us that in school, but like when you fail a test, you know how not to fail the test now. Like when you look back at what you failed, and then you can learn from it. So, that's why there's practice tests. That's why there's quizzes. That's why there's all those things in school. But yeah, every failure is just a chance to learn. Like the only reason you are the person you are today is the amount of times you've messed up, like the amount of times you've fallen, the amount of times you've like just made mistakes. Like a good skater knows that you have to fall like 50,000 times to be a pro. Like once you've fallen that many times, then you're a pro, because you just have to make those mistakes. You have to realize how not to do the trick, so then you could do the trick. And there's like so many cheesy examples, like the Thomas Edison story where like he attempted 10,000 times or something like that for the light bulb. And after 10,000 quote unquote failures, he reached his goal of getting that light bulb. And for him, it was just a learning experience. He figured out how not to do it. And my favorite analogy for failure, keep this in your mind always, because it blew my mind when I came up with it, is you're building like a 100-piece puzzle set. And when you go to put two pieces together and they don't fit, what do? You don't just like try your best to make them fit. They don't fit. So you put one on one side of the table, the other on the other, and like you will not make that mistake again. And if you do, like you're not going to make it more than twice, because you realize, all right, these don't fit. And what that does statistically while you're building this puzzle, it helps you build the next one because you have one less option, and it just helps you in life like so much to realize that, okay, these two don't go together. Now I know another way that this puzzle could trick me. You know what I mean? And it helps you build the puzzle even faster. I used to build puzzles all the time, and that was my strategy, is I just try and like attach two pieces like the entire time.
Yeah, man. Another classic example for this is like a kid, like a baby. When a baby's learning to walk, like how many chances do you give that baby to walk? Like if this is your kid, you just had a kid and you're like, oh, I want my kid to walk. I want my kid to be, to grow up. Well, how many chances are you going to give that kid? You're going to give it like a try, 2 tries, 3 tries, and then like cut him off because he failed? Like, okay, sorry, kid. Like you're done. You failed. You've already tried 3 times. It's over. Like, no, that's not the kind of mindset that goes into it. Usually the mindset that goes into it is, no matter what, I'm going to make sure this kid walks, because this is what kids do. I don't care if you fail. Get up and do it again. Right? I don't care if you fail, get up and do it again. And the mindset behind this is like, does failure really exist if you keep trying? Like, does failure really exist if you keep trying, you keep going, you keep trying a different way, you take a different approach, you go at it with a different mentality? Like, does it? Mm-hmm. Does failure really exist?
I mean, failure is different for everybody. Somebody could like really want a raise, and when they don't get the raise, they've failed. But they just did a whole workday and they just made money, you know what I mean? But in their mind, it's a failure. Like failure is different for everybody. And I forget where I was going with this. I had a really good idea, but then
we got a hello from France here. We got a hello from California. If you were in the comment section right now, let us know where you're from. It's so cool to see us reaching people all over the world like this. So that's super cool. But yeah, all about failure. If you guys have any questions that have to do with the topic of failure, let us know. Hello from North America. Yo, no, wait. From North Africa. Oh, okay. I was like, North America. We're from North America.
No, I think also. Oh, where was I going with this? It's in my head. Something about failure. Oh yeah, guys. Like when you fail, and then you finally achieve it, it feels so much better to like go through a struggle. Because like if everything was easy, if we didn't fail, if we didn't like mess up, or if we didn't have bumps in the road, then nothing would be fulfilling. You know, it'd be like just boring.
Sorry, bro. I'm just checking audio.
I can't concentrate when you're doing that. But yeah, life would be boring, man. Everything would be given to you. It's the equivalent of like rich people who are depressed because they have everything they will want and they really don't know what to do with their lives at this point. And I had dreams like that where I have like an unlimited magical power where I can have ice cream, sushi, I can like fly, I could do literally anything, right? It's a lucid dream. It's just like I could do whatever I want. And by the end of it, I was just bored. It was like, okay, I could do everything I want now. Like, okay. It gets boring, man. Having that struggle, having that bump in the road is like what gives you that fulfillment. Like, if it wasn't hard, then you wouldn't be proud of yourself when you actually get that goal.
That's so true, man. Like, that's the thing is just because it's hard doesn't mean you should give up. It means you should do it hard, right? And the reward, like the harder it is, the more rewards you get. The tougher the experience, the tougher the failure, the tougher the whatever, the more experience you get. And so when it comes to failure, you almost want to search for adversity. You want to go after the pain. You want to search for that uncomfortable feeling, because the more uncomfortable you are, the odds that you're going to grow, the odds that you're going to become more, the odds that you're going to rise above the experience with a new insight or a new lesson learned, or just you're going to be stronger, smarter, faster, healthier, whatever it is. Like, that's what you're looking for, is it not? Like, and so the only way to really grow is from resistance.
Yeah, like, dude, like, look at a video game. The reason people love video games is because it's a challenge. You have to overcome a challenge. The reason people like sports is because it's a challenge. It's a game. Like, that's what games are. It's like it's a challenge. You have to try and complete this task that is more likely difficult to complete. That's why like people enjoy video games that actually take some skill to complete. Otherwise, like, dude, like a lot of people, they use hacks in video games, right? And that basically means you can defeat everybody without really trying because you've hacked your system, right? And I've done that before. Like I've had a hacked controller or whatever, and I'm battling other people online, and it's just boring. It's like, yeah, I can kill everybody now. Like, this isn't really fun. But once you like, I don't know, this is a video game thing. So for you gamers, like, you'll understand that like it's actually fun to have that challenge in a video game, to be like, oh, I'm gonna beat this on the hardest difficulty, and then by the end of that, you feel so proud of yourself. And that goes with anything. That goes with the promotion that you want. That's why in the last episode I said to dream big. Like, have a goal that like freaks you out a little bit. A goal that's like, wow, that's going to be really tough to achieve. Like something like that. Because there's a book called the Magic of Thinking Big or something. The Power of Thinking Big. Yeah. And it basically just talks about how you've got to like reach for the stars, and you might get like the moon or something. You know what I mean? Like reach for perfection, and you might get excellence. So thinking big is huge, man. Like, there's no harm in thinking big as well. Like, there's no harm in thinking big. Like, that's what Steve Jobs did. He thought big. That's what Bill Gates, that's what Oprah, that's what all these like seemingly great people who have accomplished like a crazy amount of success. That's what they say. Like, that's what they said. They were like, they thought ridiculously. They were insane. People like the guy who said he'd invent radio. Like, he would invent radio waves to send messages through the air. He's like, this exists, guys. Like, I can make this. People brought him to a psychiatric hospital and said he was insane. Like, this guy's got to get his head checked. Like, And now you look at the guy, and you look at this computer, you look at your phone, you listen to the radio.
You can't walk down the street without free Wi-Fi.
You can't walk. Yeah, exactly.
There's Wi-Fi everywhere, guys. Wi-Fi is everywhere.
That's what I mean. And this guy literally got brought to a hospital because he was told he was insane.
Yeah.
So, like, who knows? Maybe it's possible to walk on the sun. Like,
whoa, buddy.
you gonna bring me to the hospital for saying that? Like, who knows, man? We don't know. So, like, the possibilities are seemingly endless. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, think about it. The reason you continue to fail, the whole reason we're talking about this, why you continue to fail is your mindset around failure, what failure means to you. Because the truth is, like we talked about it, failure is essential to success. Like, literally, failure is essential to success. Failure is essential to growth. I mean, and we say failure, but it totally depends on what your mindset is on failure. Like, to me, what failure really means to me is you've given up. Like, you just stopped. You've given up. Okay, you failed, right? If you pick yourself back up again and go at it again, have you really failed?
Mm-hmm.
Have you really failed, or have you just found another way that doesn't work? It could really be that simple, guys. But you're gonna have to reprogram the way that you see failure.
Yeah, dude.
That's the only way.
I posted a video to the Miracle Morning community talking about how I failed my Miracle Morning on like day 29 or something like that, and a ton of people in the comments were just like, "Don't say failure, quit saying failure, you didn't fail." And like I'm not even joking, that was half the comments just saying like, "Oh, don't say failure, that's a bad word." And I'm just like, and I told them, I was like, "Guys, I like that word, it pumps me up. Like, knowing that I failed gives me the motivation to not be a failure." Like I get motivated by negative things. That's just who I am. I get motivated by the fact I'm going to die, by the fact that the environment's just going to shit right now, the fact that I just get motivated by negative things, and it makes me want to live my life to the fullest today and like help the planet today, right? And so when I hear the word failure, and if I think that I failed, it's like, it pumps me up. It's like, dude, like, I failed. Like, I gotta get my shit together. Like, it pumps me up to do that. And that's just me. A lot of people are different. Some people, they hear the word failure and it brings them back to school when their teacher was like, "You are a failure academically," right? And it just like crushed them. It'll bring them back to that place, and like they'll feel immobilized. They'll feel like they have no power. So figure out what failure is for you, and maybe even switch it around, like change the mindset you have around failure.
Yeah, you could change your interpretation of what it means. Like Bear said here in the comments, Bear's failure is an interpretation. And say hi to everybody else, Shelby, Rachel, Sanat. But he said, failure is an interpretation. So how do you interpret failure? What does that really mean to you? I already told you what it means for me. It really means to give up. If you've given up, okay, you failed. But if you don't give up, then you haven't failed yet. And to me, like, failure is powerful. There's a lot of people, a lot of powerful teachers, speakers, coaches, whatever you want to call them, gurus, who always talk about this subject of failure. And they talk about how you need to like literally fail, like go for failure, reach towards failure, because the more you fail, the more you learn. It's just the bottom line, man. Because when you succeed, think about it. When you succeed, when everything's going right, when things are just going amazing, rarely do you learn things or come to big realizations that completely change your life. Tony Robbins has an amazing quote, and I've heard this not only from Tony Robbins, but Tai Lopez talks about this all the time, because this was one of the quotes that really set Tai Lopez on his journey of learning, investing, growing, and building his empire of what he's got going right now. And the quote's simple. The quote says, when people succeed, they party, but when they fail, they ponder. And through pondering, that's where we make our biggest distinctions. Through pondering, that's where our life really changed. Through pondering, that's where we come to realizations. We make up new stories. We create a new direction for our life that really takes us towards actual success.
Dude, that's literally why I enjoy the word failure, because I enjoy being a failure. Because if I didn't call myself a failure, then I wouldn't really try for success. Because like what you said, if failure is giving up and I'm not giving up, then I'm not a failure. Then I could just keep doing what I'm doing and I don't need to change. You know what I mean? But if I'm constantly failing every day until I succeed, like that's what gives me the motivation, because it's like, I have not reached my goal yet. All right. I am failing right now. Like, don't kid yourself. You are failing right now, honestly. And your goal, once you reach that, you have succeeded. But I think failure is like not being at your goal. Failure is raising your standards. Failure is saying, I'm not where I want to be right now. I am failing. Obviously, you're doing everything you can. You're doing good. But for me, like, yeah, calling myself a failure is just raising my standards.
Man, it's interesting you say that because it's different for other people. It's different for people for sure, because for some people, the idea of I'm failing or that kind of pressure of failure, it's not going to push them to that next level. In fact, that pressure of saying, oh, I'm a failure, I'm failing right now, a lot of times that pressure just ruins things, right? That pressure just ruins any sort of drive or confidence you have to move forward. And so for some people, it's more productive for them to say, okay, I'm succeeding, I'm making progress, I'm doing good things, I need to keep going, I need to, make it happen. But for other people, it's like that, like yourself hearing that, oh man, I'm a failure. That's how you know.
Down.
Yeah, let's double down. Like I gotta go. I gotta do this.
And that's why when it comes, wait, what did you just say about the first person type of?
The first person might be discouraged by failure. They might be discouraged by knowing that they're not on track with their goals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I agree, like that it might be discouraging to like hear the word failure, and it's good to say I'm making progress and I'm getting places and I'm doing things and it's good. Like. But at the same time, you need to realize that you are not where you want to be, because when you think you're making progress, you're not. You're too comfortable and you're not doing enough. You know what I mean? And that's like we're guilty of that. Is just like saying, oh yeah, we're getting places, we're doing stuff, it's getting better all the time, and then we just we get too comfortable and we stay where we are and we don't double down and we don't really work as hard as we could. We don't we don't fulfill our true potential. So I think it's important to always keep in the back of your mind that you are not where you want to be. And it's don't dwell on that. Obviously I think it's really bad to have that energy in your mind the entire day. But.
It's so interesting. We just got a comment on Periscope talking about, making sure that what you're reaching for is realistic and making sure that your goals are realistic. And that's exactly what we're talking about right now, is you got to find that balance. Because for some people, the idea that I'm behind on what I'm trying to do, I'm failing, I'm not making it right now, or that whole mentality is motivating them. But for other people, it's like, no, it's always getting better, I'm always making progress, I'm always kicking ass. So it's like almost the pessimistic versus the optimistic, right? This person say, I went to university for nursing and ended up now in my last year of dentistry school. Congratulations. I know what you're talking about. For some people, this is why we talk about self-awareness so much, because it's different for everybody. For some people, the idea of realistic goals bores them. Mm-hmm. It's boring.
The same. It bores
it's just kind of boring, right? For other people, it's the unrealistic goals that are kind of boring. Let me give you an example. Okay, so for one person, say you're making let's use money because it's a great example and there's numbers. So you're making $10,000 a year, and you're thinking okay, look, a realistic goal for next year is I'm going to make an extra $5,000. That's my realistic goal. I'm going to do that. So this year I made $10,000. Next year I'm going to make $15,000. That's realistic. So that's one person, and that's good for them, and it works for them. And that next year they're going to make $5,000 extra, and that's what they're going to do. But for another person, they might say, look, that's so boring. An extra $5,000, screw that. I'm going to make $100,000 next year. And it's it doesn't sound as realistic to, go from 10,000 to $100,000 in a year. It doesn't sound as realistic, but, it totally depends, because that person might be totally pumped and motivated by that $100,000 goal, or they might be daunted, oh my god, $100,000, that is daunting, man.
I am awake and just yawning. Jesus. I yawn all the time. Go ahead.
No, that was it, dude. That was my point.
Yeah. No, for me, I really enjoy you have to look at other people, look at the people who have what you want and ask yourself, do you want it as badly as they do? You know what I mean? Do you want it as badly as they do? And if you do, then it is realistic. If you don't, then it's not realistic. It's never going to happen, honestly.
Yeah.
That's what I think anyways. I've listened to a lot of entrepreneurs, and the number one thing they all say is passion. You just have to have that love for what you do. That's all it is.
Man, I want to be the devil's advocate and against passion, because as much as I talk about passion, seriously, I love passion. I think you're 100% right. Where so many entrepreneurs and so many people talk about how it's so important for you to follow your passions, because realistically, you're not going to follow through with something you don't love. Realistically, you're not going to stick it through all the failures, all the adversities, all the resistance if it's not something you really love. But I would also argue against that and say purpose is 100 million times more important than passion.
Same thing.
It's not the same thing.
For me, it is.
You're not getting what I'm saying. Let's do a whole podcast episode on this.
No. I want to hear what you say. Go ahead.
I say purpose. We'll expand on this, but I say purpose is more important than passion, because passion is like, oh, this is what I love to do. This is what's fun for me right now. This is like it's passion. It's like passion is scary because it's always kind of blinded by pleasure, right? Passion is based off of, oh, this is bringing me pleasure, so I'm going to go after it. Where purpose, on the other hand, is this is the impact I want to make. This is like my North Star. This is my purpose. This is why I'm here. This is the impact I'm supposed to do. This is what the world's going to look like because I'm here. This is you know what I mean? It's so much more powerful in my eyes, because that purpose, even when times get tough, right? Even when your passion dies out, which passion does die out. Passion's like a fire, right? It's lit. It's large. It's lit. It's like, oh my God, I'm so passionate and excited about this thing. And then it dims down sometimes. Yeah. Right? It all depends, because it's passion. Passion isn't like constantly always. See, this is how I was explaining it last night. Passion is like a fire, and purpose is like a rock. It's like a stone, right? See, purpose is in stone. It doesn't change. This is your purpose. But passion changes all the time. I mean, I'll tell you, 2 months ago, I was super passionate about the guitar. This week, I haven't played guitar once, I don't think.
No, but here's the thing, man. Like, purpose changes too.
No, that's not
my purpose
what I'm
has
talking
changed.
about.
In the past 2 years, my purpose has changed.
That's fine. You could change your purpose. You could change your passion.
That's what I mean. But for me, man, like, this is how it is. My purpose gives me passion. Like, that's what it is. Like, my purpose is to make people laugh, to make good art, like to make like good music, good films, good whatever, and like entertain people, make them smile in the process. And my passion is doing that. That's my passion. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not gonna. What you mean. That's all it is. It's as simple as that. My passion is to make people laugh, smile, and create good stuff, good movies, good music.
Yeah, no, for sure. But you kind of get what I'm getting at though here.
No, I understand. It's different. It's different for other people.
No, purpose and passion are two different things that could often get confused with one another.
No, but like,
because again, passion is like what you're passionate about, what you love to do, what pumps you up. That's passion. But purpose is why you're doing that.
No, but like the purpose is the passion, dude. For me, like
for you, I'm sure.
That's what I mean. The purpose is like, if I wasn't passionate about making people laugh, then that wouldn't be my purpose. You know what I mean? Like, that's my passion.
The two go hand in hand, totally, 100% for sure. But you get what I'm getting at, where I say, like, you know, following your passions sometimes it's dangerous. It's scary because passions change, man. Well, passion, like I said, passion's like a fire that comes in and out all the time. Your purpose it's not like a fire. Your purpose is like, there's just
different outlets.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Like
passion, like sex. Sex is passion. That feeling of like passionate sex. Okay, so is eating good food. I'm so passionate about this delicious food. So is doing something you love. I'm so passionate about playing this amazing music. My purpose isn't to eat this food, this great food. My purpose isn't to have great sex. My purpose is to do this one thing that is my North Star, and that's what I'm here for. That's my whole life is into.
See, that's here's the thing though. I think true passion comes from your purpose. True passion doesn't come from eating pad thai. Like, I love pad thai. My favorite food, guys, pad thai. Every 2 seconds I'm with my friends. I'm like, guys, you know what I love? Pad thai. Like, let's get some pad thai in here. No, but like, that's not what gives me passion. Passion's like affecting another life, making somebody smile, even when they're the most depressed sack of shit on the planet. Making them laugh just for a second. Like, in the now, they're happy. That's my passion. You know what I mean? And like, that's what I mean. Like, passion doesn't come from instant gratification. It comes from a mission. It comes from your purpose. That's just me, though.
Dude, it totally depends what passion you're talking about.
No, so but here's the thing.
This is like Jabbar live on Facebook.
I want to define passion. I just want to know.
Cameron's on Google right now.
A strong and barely controllable emotion. See, the reason it's barely controllable, the reason it's barely controllable is because you can't stop thinking about it. You can't. It keeps you up at night, and it wakes you up in the morning.
And that's why passion's dangerous, guys. That's why passion's dangerous. People are passionate about crack cocaine. There's people who are passionate about crack cocaine because it brings them uncontrollable emotion. It's like, that's what passion is. Mm-hmm. And passion's good. Like I said, like passion will get you to do amazing things. Passion will get you to get married. Passion will get you to start a war. Passion will get you to love your life. Passion will get you to hate your life. People love things with the passion, and people hate things with the passion, right? And that's why I don't want to get passion confused with purpose as much, because purpose is different. See,
I'm passionate about puppies. Yeah. No, but like, here's the thing. I think the kind of passion I'm talking about is like true fulfillment about life. Like really, really being content. You know what I mean? Like when you, for 10 minutes, maybe you're fine. But like after that, you're just like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I need more cocaine. Yeah. Like I just need more.
Let's Google purpose. What's purpose? The definition.
Right. Define purpose. That's wrong. Purpose.
The people in the comments are loving this.
Purpose. The reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. So it's the reason for which something is.
Yeah. So look, when you put passion and purpose together, you like it's on. You know what I mean? But I would say, you know, passion on its own, I'd say, is dangerous, man, because people are passionate about some crazy stuff. Like passion
right here, man. This is lovely. Fulfillment means satisfaction or happiness as a result of fully developing one's abilities or character.
What's the other one? The achievement of something desired, promised, or predicted.
Yeah, so fulfillment, that's the kind of passion I'm talking about. Like I'm not talking about the instant gratification of eating sushi or hugging a really adorable puppy or like playing video games. I mean fulfillment. And I don't know I don't know why we started talking about this, to be quite honest. Like, I don't know where this started. But, like...
Here's a good question from Bears, actually. He says, is it possible that there are humans who have been placed on Earth for a purpose which they aren't passionate about? Is it possible?
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people who... No, but here's the thing, like, that's a good one, Bears. That's a good one. Because, like, no, look, there are people doing something, like, living their entire life doing something that they're not passionate about.
Oh, for sure.
But is that their purpose?
Look, the way I see it, man, is I don't know about you guys, but I don't think any of us were really put on this planet for a specific purpose.
No.
I don't think any of us were put on this planet for a specific, like, to have a specific passion.
Like you were born for this.
I think you were born. And then you are a jumble of different experiences that have happened to you and all these things, okay, like bam, life. And now you become this character. Now you're what? You're maybe 16, 17, 18, you're 20, 30, 40, 50. And now you're at a point in your life where you make decisions. And I think you decide what your purpose is. Purpose doesn't really slap you in the face. No. I think you decide, like, I am here for this reason. This is my purpose. But I think same thing with passion too. You decide, like, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what brings me the most joy. And this is what I think really happens. But also, you know,
I still think it's not anybody's choice, because like
passion,
you were raised to be the person you are today, right? Like everything, all the mistakes, all the troubles, all the happiness, whatever you did as a child made you the person you are today. And like, because of everything that happened there, you can't choose what you love. You can't choose your music taste. Like, I just love the Beatles. I can't just wake up and say, you know what? I'm going to decide to not love the Beatles anymore. Screw the Beatles.
Why can't you?
Because it's against my will. Like, that's the music that resonates with me. You know what I mean?
Why can't you sit there and think of all the reasons why the Beatles suck and all the reasons why you don't like them anymore?
Because it's music, man. It just like it's hard to just sit there and say, yeah, this music sucks. But like, how am I supposed to? It's good music. Like I'm into it. So no, but I know what you mean. Like that's why I think everybody needs to find their passion, their purpose, their purpose that gives them passion and power. Anthony Cheam. I think it's important for everybody to realize what that is, because you do have one. Everybody does, and like it's tough to find sometimes.
So
and you cannot decide. Honestly, I truly believe you can't decide what it is. It's something that pulls you. It's something that, like, it's because of the person you are. That's your thing. Like, if he grew up around music, why do you, like, a person who grew up in the Bronx in a gang, I don't think he's going to be passionate about music. He might be, but I don't think he's going to be passionate about guitar. But this guy's been around guitars ever since he was a kid. He's been playing guitars ever since he was a kid. He's been watching Green Day videos, watching like the Beatles, like watching all these bands since he was a kid. And it's brought him up to have this purpose, right?
Yeah, that's what we were saying. You know, all those life experiences from when you're young to who you are now basically creates who you are. But there comes a certain point in your life where you make decisions. You know what I mean? Like you get to decide, because look, I was really passionate about getting drunk. Like I loved to get drunk and party with my friends. Yeah. I grew up my whole life seeing people get drunk and party. So, it was just like guitar. So I grew up getting drunk and partying just like I was, and I was passionate about it because that's all I ever did. That was like my life. That's all I ever saw.
But it wasn't fulfilling. Like at the end,
was it fulfilling
in the morning after a night of alcohol? Did you?
No, but it was
like
the reason it wasn't fulfilling, Cameron, was because I was following my passion, but I wasn't following my purpose.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Is the two have to go hand in hand. I was passionate about getting drunk. It felt good. I had a good time. But at the end of the day, I wasn't fulfilled. I didn't feel that feeling of, okay, I'm doing this for a real reason. I'm doing this for a purpose, and that's why I say your purpose is more important. I would say, because look, you could do your passion, but your passion can leave you unfulfilled. Your purpose will fulfill you all day long.
No, but here's the thing: like your purpose will give you passion all day long. Like,
it depends.
There's a reason it's your purpose. You're passionate about it. You know what I mean? There's a reason you love guitar because you're passionate about it. There's a reason you want to help people because when you do it, it gives you that passionate, uncontrollable emotion.
What about martyrs, man? What about people who are not passionate about war, but they go to war because they believe it's going to save their country or save their loved ones? What about people like that?
Propaganda, straight up. We're getting into this talk. No, it's like they truly believe that they're doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Like it's not really. I don't think
they're
that's
following
a
their purpose.
Thing.
It's their purpose. It's not their passion. Right? That's what I mean. It's like people out there are following their purpose, even though it's not something they love to do. They're doing it because they know there's going to be an impact, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Like, for example, there's so many people out there who hate their freaking job. They're not passionate about their work whatsoever, but they still go to work because they know I'm going to work for a purpose because I need to get a paycheck because I need to feed my damn kids.
But are they going the extra mile? You know what I mean? They wouldn't go the extra mile if they didn't enjoy it. They wouldn't do more than what they're paid.
Totally depends who we're talking about.
They wouldn't do more than what they're paid for if they're not passionate about it. You know, that's where
this is making me dizzy. This is the best, guys. This is the best episode of the podcast we've ever had.
I have to bring this around back to failure. I think when you are extremely passionate about something, failure is just like a speed bump. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when you're extremely passionate and you're after a purpose and like that purpose fulfills you and it has power and it has passion and it's like this big ball of like completeness inside of you. The failures are speed bumps and like you start to think unrealistically. Like you don't even care. You realize that like you look at somebody like say you want to be another talk show host like Jimmy Fallon. You're like, dude, I really want to be like a talk show host on TV. And you think about it all day. It keeps you up at night. It wakes you up in the morning. And like, that's your purpose. That's your passion. Ask yourself, okay, do I want this as bad as Jimmy Fallon? Because if you do, then you will do a lot more than he's ever done in his entire life, honestly. If you really want it that bad, if you're really that passionate about it. Because passion gives you the energy to skip out on sleep, to skip out on food, to skip out on drugs, to skip out on entertainment, and just go full force on your dream. That's why I'm a huge fan of passion.
And purpose.
Oh.
No, but seriously, think about it. If passion's what keeps you going, and like passion's what like lights the fire doesn't always stay lit, man. Your body gets tired. Like you have to eat at some point. You have to sleep at some point, and the passion will die out. But your purpose doesn't die. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The passion can die.
Outlet.
You'll get bored at some point. I'm telling you right now, I got like as much as I love guitar, as much as I love this freaking podcast, I get bored with it sometimes.
Guys.
This is my passion and I lose it sometimes. I get bored with it sometimes. But what keeps me getting here even when I'm bored of it, even when I'm not feeling passionate, even when I'm not into it, I get on here because I have a freaking purpose.
No, but
do you know what I mean?
What I look at Ice Cube. It's a weird example, but guy was in NWA, right? Like a rap group, and he was a rapper, and he like did a bunch of music. He did tours, he did all that stuff. Then he got bored. He's like, you know what? Let's be a movie star. You know what I mean? And then after a movie star, let's be a producer. Let's produce a movie. Like, the guy did a bunch of things. Like, look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, he wasn't a bodybuilder his entire life. Became a governor, became a movie star. Like Forrest Gump. But he's not going to be in the army his entire life. Right? He's gonna go do ping pong. He's gonna go running. Like, it changes. But his purpose, like, relatively stays the same. He just wants to, like... I don't even know. Forrest Gump's a bad example. I don't even know what Forrest Gump's purpose is.
We've got people in the comments like taking votes. They're like, all right, let's vote whose side you're on.
Oh my god.
See, Kim, I got more votes.
Oh, you shut your mouth.
What up?
Hey, it's
no,
because
but
I'm a really rare type, I think.
No,
like,
we're on
I just
the same
told you
side.
guys that I enjoy the fact that I'm gonna die. Like, I drank my piss. Like, I'm a weird person. I'm so different than other people, and it's hard for me to relate to most people.
Oh, see, Cameron's just making excuses for you guys now just because you don't vote for him. He's like, I'm weird, okay, fine.
No, I really am. Like, I'm so different from everybody. It's hard for me to, like, come up... Because every time you say something that resonates with people, I always am different about it, and it's funny.
Okay, we just got a question on Periscope. It said, what if you don't have the talent to fulfill your passion? And I'm going to have to,
10,000 hours makes you a pro.
Well, yeah, like, I think if you don't have talent for whatever it is you're passionate about, then you need to figure out what your purpose is. Like, that's just what it is. Look, I'm passionate about skateboarding. Yes, me. I'm passionate about skateboarding. Am I good at it? Am I talented at it? No. Is it my purpose in life? No. But I'm passionate about it. I love it. So in my spare time, when I'm bored or when I want to go take a break or do something, I go and do something I'm passionate about, skateboarding.
And you've gotten better.
And I've gotten better, yeah, because I like it. And so when it's something you're passionate about, you will get better at it, sure. But when it's your purpose, like... it's this whole other game. It's this whole other, instead of like, this is just what I love. This is what I like to do in my spare time. Now this is what I have to do because this is who I am. This is why I'm here. This is my purpose. I'm here. Cameron, your purpose is to light people up, to make people smile, to bring joy, to eliminate suffering. That's your purpose. That's why you're here. That's what you do every day. Now, your passion is filmmaking. Your passion is comedy. Your passion is podcast. Your passion is music. And so you use those passions as ways to fulfill your purpose. Now, if you have a purpose in life...
No, but here's the thing. Like, I don't like video editing. I don't like having to sit there and do things. But when I make somebody smile, that is my passion.
Yes, because...
It's not filmmaking. It's barely filmmaking. It's barely
comedy.
Okay,
Cameron, why are you here? Like, why are you here? What's your purpose?
To make people smile. To make them happy. Like, that's all it is. To make them happy.
Okay, how do you do that?
I make videos.
So why do you make videos? Why videos and why not music? Why not comedy? Why not?
Because videos are what I'm good at. That's for sure.
Why not dancing?
Because videos is what I'm good at. Like, I'm good at it.
And are you passionate about videos?
Yeah, I like making videos. I'm just saying, like, that's not what like brings me the big feeling.
It's not because
orgasmic passion.
I don't think. Oh, this is such a funny conversation. I'm loving
this
it.
This is just all over the place. Look, guys, 2 things you need to do. I love how I said 2 things. I don't even have 2 things, and I'm just making a list. First of all, write down what you're passionate about. If you like eating food, okay, like, you'll be a food critic. People make money eating food. If you like playing video games, people make money playing video games. If you like meditating, people like they make money, they make a living meditating. So write down everything you love doing, everything that puts a smile on your face, gives you chills down your spine. And then once you're done that, write down your purpose, like why you're doing these things. Why are you passionate about meditating? Why do you enjoy talking to people? Like, why are you awake? Why didn't you kill yourself this morning? Why'd you get out of bed? You know, like, why are you here today? And like, what do you want to do with the rest of your life, man?
I'd do it the other way around. Instead of thinking about what you're passionate about first, think about what your purpose is first.
And then you'll find your passion.
And you'll find your passion. Because look,
true.
If you think about what your purpose is, why am I here? Like, what kind of value do I have to offer? Why am I here? And then figure out what's the best way I could fulfill that. What brings me joy? What's passion? What kind of value do I have? Then you start there because look, again, if you start with your passion might be sex. Because sex is something, it's an uncontrollable emotion.
People make money having sex though.
Yeah, so that's fine. Okay, but why? Just because it feels good, or are you trying to fulfill some sort of bigger purpose? I'm telling you, you will never be fulfilled if you're only following pleasure. If you're only following this, you know what I mean? It can, like, Cameron's not talking about it in the sense of instant gratification, but passion can become instant gratification. And that's what I'm saying is that's why you don't start with passion, because you might get caught up in the passion trap. And there is a passion trap. If you start with purpose and then you go on to passion, passion will only fuel your purpose and it'll only make the whole experience better. Yeah, and like, look, to have one without the other would totally suck. It would. And so we're arguing over which one we like better. But I think together, like, to have purpose and no passion, you'd be somewhat fulfilled, but you'd feel like a martyr. You'd feel like you're making everybody else's life better. You're making the world a better place. But deep down, you're not feeling like you're making yourself feel proper. You're not,
Yeah.
you're not taking care of yourself. And passion is like, that's doing what you love to do, so it brings you joy.
Yeah.
And if you're doing what you love to do and it brings you joy, and you're doing it for a purpose that doesn't only bring you joy, it's not selfish, it's not just about your passion, but it's also about other people, then you're good. It's the chicken and the egg.
No, it's true. It is the chicken.
It
and the
can
egg.
be. I personally
You
think
can't have one or the other. That's all it is.
I think the purpose comes first.
I honestly think the passion comes first, and that's because like, the passion came before the chicken. Because like,
Anyways, guys.
no, and no, but one more thing. I don't use the word passion lightly either. Like when I say passion, I mean like sex or cocaine will never, ever, ever give me the amount of passion that my purpose gives me. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say my purpose gives me the most positive, insane, high energy feeling I've ever felt in my entire life. Is from my purpose.
So go for your purpose.
Exactly, because your purpose will give you that amount of passion.
Commit to that, and yeah, the passion will come, right? But I find, yeah, we could do a whole episode on this. I feel like we already have. But in terms of failure, guys, seriously, the reason you keep failing is because you think of failure as if it's the end when it can really be the beginning. And this whole purpose passion talk, really all that means is when you follow a purpose in your life and that purpose that you're following brings you passion, failure will never get in your way, because you know you're doing this for a reason. You've got this rock hard purpose that's bringing you this burning fire passion, and it creates this amazing life for you and for the people around you. It's not just about you, right? So that's it, guys. Love it. Peace. Leading life. See you tomorrow.